Inle Lake is the second largest in the country and covers approximately 116 square kilometers. The lake is shallow. Much of Inle Lake is covered by floating plantations, and traditional fishermen use a technique of their own to cast their cone-shaped nets. It is one of Myanmar's tourist hotspots. Inle Lake is one of the highlights of any Myanmar trip. We stayed there for several days and kept the impression that it was not enough to see all there is to see in this small world. This first film on Inle Lake shows life on the water. Acrobatic fishermen who earn a better living as acrobats than as fishermen. The opening of the country to tourism has devastating effects on the lake by disturbing the tranquility of the fish with the multiple flat-bottomed and motorized boats that transport tourists. So the former fishermen are paid by the hotels to show their talents to passing tourists. And it's a safe bet that they do not really lose in the exchange. Beyond the fishermen, there are also the farmers on the waters of the lake. For a long time, the inhabitants of here have created floating gardens and live in houses on stilts on the lake. The fishermen of Inle Lake are famous for their sense of balance on their flat-bottomed boats, using their legs to handle the net and steer the boat. But, as it is also the case in other places of the world, the perpetuation of this ancestral technique is today more intended to amuse the tourists than to fill the pan with fish. We can quibble about the moral side of this development, but if we replace the word fisherman by artist or balancing act, it becomes easier to understand that these people need to find a way to make a living. So, we might as well do it aesthetically, which allows us to take beautiful shots. In any case, the massive arrival of tourists in recent years has massively caused the fish to disappear. That said, there are still traditional fishermen, but far from the tourist areas of the lake, since the fish do not adapt well to the engine noise of the many boats that ply a large part of this endearing lake. But it is not only fishing and nautical balancing to ensure the income of the inhabitants of Inle Lake. Farmers too have been imaginative for a long time. Living on water, they have little cultivable land. Never mind, they created agricultural plots floating on the water. In these floating gardens, they mainly cultivate tomatoes which are sold all over Myanmar. But other vegetables are also cultivated, such as beans, cucumbers or eggplants. to evoke Inle Lake without showing the karaweik, a mythical bird which is to Burma what the Garuda is to Indonesia.